A single, earth-shaking step shatters the silence. The hunt for vengeance has officially begun. She lunges forward with terrifying speed, leaving nothing but a massive shockwave in her wake. She is making a run for it. Look at that speed. Someone get this girl a track scholarship. Stat. The orders are absolute. Track her down and eliminate her at any cost. He channels pure, lethal energy into his fingertips, preparing to unleash a strike that will erase everything in its path. With a mocking laugh, he declares that this single attack will be more than enough to end this pathetic struggle. He decides that chasing them further is a waste of time and turns his back on the slaughter, clearly bored with his own massacre. He realizes his grip on reality is slipping. Staying conscious is now his only priority. Cold rain pours down on the carnage as a mysterious figure looms over the fallen. The executioner has arrived, and the silence is absolutely chilling. Kim Si-hyuk stands amidst the rubble, looking like he's definitely seen better days. He sneers that the boy was impressive for a small country brat, but reminds him that a fallen hero has no business acting like a big shot. A bloodthirsty grin stretches across his face as he prepares to unleash absolute hell. The predator has finally caught his prey. He screams at the heavens, demanding to know if he, the great Zhongli Chu, isn't worthy of godhood. He turns to his allies, asking if they saw that. He finally kept his promise to Zhongli Chu. A maniacal grin takes over his face as he taps into a terrifying, blood-drenched power. The battlefield quakes before his unhinged dominance. An ancient, malevolent eye snaps open, crackling with crimson lightning. Reality itself is buckling under this sudden surge. A terrifying aura explodes outward, forcing the trembling crowd to their knees. Even the heavens start to crack under the pressure. A disembodied voice acknowledges the feat. Yes, he really did it, Zhongli Chu. Now it's time to collect. He demands to be elevated to the constellation of Earth. He insists on his promotion to celestial god, and for a split second, the world seems to nod in agreement. The system pauses, running a deep, cold diagnostic on the situation. Reality check. The system delivers a brutal blow. The target does not qualify for ascension. The system frantically scans for any loophole to make it work, searching for a glimmer of hope. Total panic breaks out. The arena is terminated, and Earth's protective rights are stripped away in an instant. He bellows at the void, claiming he was guaranteed ascension if he just took out Kim Si-hyuk. The system coldly confirms that, yes, that was indeed the deal. The punchline is savage. He simply wasn't qualified to begin with. Talk about an epic fail. He stands there, completely shell-shocked by his own spectacular failure. A deafening blast rocks the area as violent energy erupts. The battlefield is swallowed by a crimson storm of destruction. He lets out one last, strained roar of pure defiance. He curses his enemy with his final breath, spitting vitriol as his world crumbles into dust. He laughs, genuinely amused by the sheer, unadulterated chaos unfolding before his eyes. He mocks the world, finding this moment of absolute destruction to be oddly refreshing. An overwhelming wave of crimson energy rips through the fabric of reality. The atmosphere shatters under his terrifying influence. He calls out to Kim Si-moon, his voice cutting through the madness. He wonders aloud what that guy is cooking up all by himself again. Ancient tomes and glowing vials litter the floor as he works. A breakthrough is finally within his grasp. He looks up, surprised to see an unexpected guest in his workspace. He asks if the world is ending, noting that his friend is just casually chilling and doing alchemy. He can't help but be impressed by his companion's sheer audacity in the face of disaster. He tosses an item over, telling him to just take it and stop asking questions. Cold realization hits him. He freezes in shock, staring at the impossible object in his hands. He whispers in pure disbelief, trying to grasp what on earth is happening. It's an elixir of an unknown grade, a mythical product said to work miracles even for the gods. He explains the grim situation. That traitorous snake Zhongli Chu finally betrayed his brother. He wonders why Si-hyuk didn't just use the elixir to save his own life. He explains that Sihyuk fully intended to, but after his guild fell, he chose to pass it on instead. He pauses, letting the weight of that final sacrifice sink in. He claims his debts are paid, though the other man finds that notion absolutely ridiculous. He asks if he really held on to that debt for all this time, even through all the chaos. He admits that, in a twisted way, his own quest for revenge was the reason the brother fell. He cuts him off, insisting the revenge was justified and those people had it coming. He separates the revenge from the Continental Master issue, still marveling at his friend's strange, stubborn persistence. With a chilling, heavy creak, the forbidden door swings open. What kind of nightmare is hiding on the other side? He asks if he's actually leaving, or if he's just going to stay and struggle in vain. He mentions seeing Zhongli Chu summon something truly monstrous earlier. He asks if he saw the system announcement about Earth's protective rights being revoked. The announcement is blunt. The Galaxy Arena is finished, and Earth is officially on its own. The system confirms the death of the only qualified candidate for the constellation. He insists that if anyone was qualified, it had to be his brother, the Sword Saint. He knows he's the only one who truly understood the depth of Sihyuk's status window. He doesn't know what the future holds, but it's clear the world has gone straight to hell. He replies that running isn't his style and he's got nothing left to lose anyway. He tells him not to waste the gift. The Sword Saint literally paid for that elixir with his life. He offers a quick apology, noting it was originally his, before turning to walk away. He offers a quick thanks for everything before vanishing into the shadows. His status window flickers to life. Level 1 with pathetic stats and a magic ineptitude trait. He sighs, admitting his stats are exactly as pitiful as he feared. Everything feels so pointless now. He muses on how he managed to find such a perfect energy source for his alchemy. After awakening, he poured every ounce of his being into this. Without the emerald tablet, he never would have dreamed of success. Is this all that's left? Pure, burning malice? His spirit remains unbroken, and he's finally crafted the pinnacle of alchemy. He whispers a final thank you to Sihyuk and Malsuk, having achieved his goal right before the end. He worries if he can actually pull this off in such a chaotic environment. The system pulses with cryptic, ancient text as the ritual officially begins. He reminds himself that the golden rule of alchemy is always equivalent exchange. He takes a deep breath, steeling himself to commit to the dangerous process. Raw, electrifying power surges as the interface shatters under the immense pressure. The room is crackling with high-voltage energy. He focuses, desperately trying to keep his composure amidst the brewing storm. He grunts, fighting to maintain control over the volatile, surging reaction. The system flashes. A mythical product has been successfully synthesized. He lets out a huge sigh of relief. It actually worked. He gains 5,000 achievement points, but the category deactivates as it vanishes from the system. Both mythical products of alchemy are now officially in his hands. He gains the prestigious title, Pioneer of Alchemy. His first major title is finally his to claim. He stares at the result, wondering if this marks the end of his long journey. He examines the Philosopher's Stone, a mythical product capable of synthesizing anything through equivalent exchange. The artifact pulses with forbidden power. He grips it tightly, ready to unleash a force that will reshape reality. A razor-sharp cut draws blood from his finger. The seal is broken, and the real danger has only just begun. The ancient seal shatters into dust as a sinister, blood-red energy surges forth. The system confirms the binding. The stone now belongs to Kim Si-moon. A dark power awakens, pulsing with forbidden energy. The palm of darkness has claimed its prize, and there's no turning back now. A surge of crimson power erupts as the pendant awakens. He is nearly crushed by the sheer weight of the energy. A devastating strike hits the ground with explosive force, sending debris flying everywhere. A severed head hits the floor with a sickening thud. He freezes in absolute paralyzing shock. He cries out for Malsuk, his voice trembling with pure, unadulterated horror. He stands there, completely unable to process the nightmare unfolding before him. The overwhelming presence of the stone is enough to bring him to his knees. He wonders if this is how a dimension capable of birthing a constellation feels. It's an unimaginable harvest of power, far beyond anything he ever anticipated. He curses his own magic ineptitude, wishing he had the talent to handle such power. Synchronization is complete. His magic power is converted into the unique synthesis power stat. A unique stat, at last, he's finally broken through his own limitations. He realizes he can now synthesize anything his heart desires. He stares into the distance, plotting his brutal revenge against that bastard. Bathed in a haunting glow, he drops to his knees as an overwhelming power surges around him. The air itself shatters as a reality-warping force erupts. The coming clash is going to be legendary. Defines a target, but the cost for the equivalent exchange is far too high. Pure power surges through his veins as he undergoes an agonizing transformation. He's breaking his limits. It begins an independent synthesis, completely ignoring the usual rules. He screams in disbelief, wondering how a mere human could create such a forbidden item. The hero collapses as a brutal blow sends him crashing into the dirt. For the very first time, he has captured the gaze of a constellation. A chilling glint ignites in his eyes. The stage is set for a total, bloody massacre. He gains another 1,000 achievement points, though it hardly matters anymore. An unregistered constellation has taken interest. He is now one who attracts the gaze of the beyond. He doesn't know what's happening, but he knows he's definitely leveled up. A chilling silence falls as his target lies broken in the encroaching darkness. He smiles grimly, knowing he's finally paid that bastard back in full. A crisp, silent winter morning settles over the city. The calm before the storm is here. Golden sunlight floods the room, but the air is thick with rising tension. He flashes a devilish wink. The real game is only just beginning. An eerie silence hangs in the room. Something is about to change forever. Total shock grips him as his eyes widen. Something has gone horribly wrong. He stares at his surroundings, realizing he's back in his old studio apartment. He wonders if this is all just a cruel, elaborate illusion. But the sensation is too real, too visceral to be a lie. He can't forget the trauma of what he just lived through. If you're enjoying this recap, smash that like button and subscribe for more. He stares at his phone in total shock. The date reads 2030, and the world is in absolute, chaotic shambles. 2 missed calls from Lee Yu-young and Kim Si-hyuk? Wait, is he actually back 11 years in the past? He's completely spiraling. Did he really just travel back over a decade? He's 28 again. Talk about a rough midlife crisis starting a little early. He tries to wrap his head around the impossible situation. He realizes the Philosopher's Stone acted on its own, performing a synthesis that somehow ripped him through time. He freezes, waiting for the reality of his situation to sink in. The blood drains from his face as he comes face to face with an unthinkable shock. Everything he thought he knew just shattered in an instant. Even with a second chance at 28, the weight of his past is crushing his spirit. The world falls away as he plunges into an abyss of absolute darkness and blood. Hope is fading fast in this nightmare descent. That cursed magic ineptitude he gained from the incident is still haunting him. He remembers the thick glasses and the blurry, dull world he lived in. Everything used to be a struggle, but now he senses a massive shift in his own body. A flicker of hope ignites in his eyes. He pulls up his status window. Alchemy Pioneer, Level 1, with a staggering synthesis power of 10 and 1,000,000 achievement points. 1,000,000 achievement points? Someone's been hoarding their currency like a dragon. His eyes go wide. The magic ineptitude is gone, replaced by the legendary Philosopher's Stone. He wonders if the stone inside his chest finally merged with his very essence. The stone fulfilled his deepest wish, turning a curse into his greatest strength. He lets out a manic laugh. Those soul-crushing shackles are finally shattered. He's parched from all that existential dread. Time for a drink. He realizes the disappearance of his ineptitude has changed far more than just his magical potential. He takes a sip, finally tasting the crisp, golden glory of a real beer. His stats are slightly lower than average, but that synthesis power of 10. That's strictly super rookie territory. He stares at the screen, barely believing his own eyes. It's not just magic power. It's a brand new, unique stat called synthesis power. The system confirms it. He's a unique stat holder. He's a one-of-a-kind powerhouse at level 1, and he's just getting started. He remembers the legends who rose to the top ranks using such gifts. Names like Sihyuk and Zhongli Chu echo in his mind. Life is a wild ride, and nobody can predict where the next turn leads. That million-point achievement horde is staring him right in the face. 1,000,000 points is a literal fortune in this system. He'll figure out where these points came from later. Right now it's shopping time. He scrolls through his titles, curious to see what he's unlocked. Pioneer of Alchemy. A growth-type title that boosts his synthesis potential to the moon. He's ecstatic. A job-specific growth title is exactly what he needed to dominate. Even Malsuk rose to the top thanks to one overpowered title. Now he has his own ace in the hole. He grins. The playing field just got a lot more uneven in his favor. He scans the list for more hidden gems, hungry for power. One who attracts the gaze of the beyond. Sounds ominous, but definitely important. He scratches his head, trying to remember when he earned such a terrifying title. What exactly does it mean to be watched by the beyond? He wonders if it's just a useless decoration or a ticking time bomb. Whatever, he'll take the extra buffs and call it a win. The bottom line is simple. The magic ineptitude is history. A look of pure, satisfied bliss crosses his face as he rests. He's clearly plotting something big. Raw, crackling energy dances at his fingertips. The power is surging, and the stage is set for a devastating strike. TSK, of course. Using pure synthesis for standard magic isn't as easy as he hoped. With a sharp yank, the drawer gives way to reveal a long-hidden secret. What dangerous mystery is he about to uncover? He's clearly not going to let a little failure stop his momentum. There has to be a hidden, god-tier advantage to the synthesis process. Time to put his theory to the test and draw out that hidden potential. A surge of raw, crimson power erupts from within. The hero is caught in a terrifying awakening as his body overflows with forbidden energy. His body is pushing back. Why is it rejecting his own power? Pure, unadulterated rage explodes in a stream of censored fury. Someone has officially pushed them over the edge. He gasps, is the Philosopher's Stone actually judging his technique? The nerve of this thing, calling his method primitive and barbaric. He demands to know why his refined process is being labeled inefficient. He pauses to rethink everything he knows about his synthesis history. Just how did he manage those miracles before, anyway? He's sweating bullets as the system pushes back. He focuses his intent, visualizing exactly what he needs to create. A spear, the ultimate weapon for a warrior. He wants something as legendary as the one Zhongli Chu used to wield. He demands top-tier options. He's not settling for anything less than godly. But greatness always comes with a steep, painful price. He feels the toll of the exchange beginning to mount. Raw, crackling energy surges through their fingertips. A devastating power is about to be unleashed. The system chirps. Insufficient synthesis power. Talk about a buzzkill. He curses his luck. It's never easy, is it? The stone senses his struggle and suggests a different, more expensive route. It wants 1,000,000 points to stabilize? That's highway robbery. He stares at the accept button, sweating over the cost. If it cured his ineptitude, maybe it's worth the gamble. He puts his faith in the stone. Full steam ahead. 1,000,000 points vanish in a flash. His bank account is crying. A predatory grin spreads across his face, signaling that someone is about to meet their end. The trap is set, and there's no turning back now. A single, calculated snap triggers a surge of raw power. Everything is about to change in an instant. He's all in now. There's no turning back from this investment. Another insufficient error? He's about to lose his mind. This system is really testing his patience today. He's synthesized mythical gear before. Why is this so difficult now? He just wants a decent spear with some cool perks. Is that too much to ask? The system demands another 500 points to bridge the gap. After 1,000,000, 500 is just pocket change. He's past the point of caring. He slams the yes button with reckless abandon. He's officially committed to this expensive experiment. With a single, sharp snap, the atmosphere shatters. The tension reaches a breaking point as the power is unleashed. He braces himself, praying this wasn't a total waste. He's put his life savings on the line. This better be good. A blinding surge of raw power erupts at his fingertips. Reality itself warps as he unleashes a cataclysmic blast. Pure, crackling power surges as his eyes lock onto the target. Everything changes in a single, electrifying heartbeat. He jumps back in alarm. That blast was way bigger than he expected. A deafening blast shatters reality as pure, raw power erupts. The barrier stands no chance against this overwhelming force. Raw, crackling energy erupts in a blinding flash of pure power. The atmosphere shatters as an unstoppable surge of lightning tears through the darkness. The heavens open up. A constellation is watching him. Constellations are appearing left and right. He's clearly hit a nerve. A sudden chill runs down his spine as realization strikes. He's just witnessed something that changes everything. The Olympian gods are shocked by the lingering traces of his power. They're keeping their distance, sensing something they don't quite understand. Only the three kings remain, watching him with unwavering, stoic glares. Even Zeus himself is paying attention now. The gods are retreating, unsettled by his mysterious aura. Is this all because of that beyond title he picked up? That mysterious title is proving to be a lot more influential than he thought. Reality flickers and burns away, erasing him from existence. The world is dissolving right before his eyes. He looks at the weapon. What kind of commotion did he just cause? With raw, electrifying power, he catches the blade mid-swing. No one can stop him now. The system pings. He's finally got a grade for his creation. Isn't this the signature weapon of the legendary Thunder Emperor? That man was a monster, even without an official guild affiliation. He was a combat-type specialist who dominated the battlefield. His attack power was so high it made magic-type rankers look like amateurs. He actually synthesized a replica of that god-tier weapon. Compared to the original that incinerated everything, this one looks a bit shabby, but it's still a beast. It's just an imitation, but for a level 1, it's basically cheating. Zeus is interested, but he hasn't opened his wallet for a sponsorship yet. He's not surprised. The gods are stingy with their favors. Wait, he just had a light bulb moment. The system never actually said it was impossible to upgrade this thing. If he meets the right requirements, could he turn this imitation into the real deal? If he can synthesize mythical-grade gear at will, he's going to be unstoppable. He stares at the spear, his mind racing with possibilities. Wait, what's this weird feedback in his body? He blew 500 points on this. It better not be breaking on him. This power is insane, but it's definitely not standard. Seeing his points drop still hurts his soul a little bit. The Philosopher's Stone kicks in, acting like a shock absorber for the rebound. Shock waves ripple through him as he realizes the system is actually refunding his hard-earned achievement points from synthesis. He pulls up the status window, ready to uncover the truth behind this anomaly. The Philosopher's Stone binding is revealed, a mythical alchemical tool that promises absolute correction for any synthesis, provided the law of equivalent exchange is met. He stares at the screen in confusion. The status window has shifted significantly, losing its level requirement and replacing its grade with a mysterious question mark. Could the regression and his unique status be the catalyst for this sudden, inexplicable mutation? He directs his focus toward the stone, preparing to demand answers from the ancient artifact. He questions if the binding implies that the stone's growth is directly tethered to his own evolution. The stone confirms it with a simple affirmative. Well, that was surprisingly straightforward for a cosmic artifact. The serene sunset is shattered by a sudden, violent impact. Someone just broke through the glass. and there's no turning back now. He notes that magic-type players usually rely on long casting times to perform their feats. Typically, even alchemy demands a complex synthesis circle and physical materials, but he's playing by a different set of rules. He marvels at the sheer efficiency of synthesizing without a circle. It's like discovering a cheat code in a game that's supposed to be hard. This isn't just an upgrade. It's a total revolution in the magic category that could change everything. He's been putting in the work, and this new synthesis method is finally paying off in spades. With this level of alchemical mastery, he's confident that the tutorial is going to be a total breeze. The countdown ticks away relentlessly, pressing him toward his inevitable trial. January 17, 2030. A date seared into his memory as the day his life changed forever when he was summoned for the tutorial. This cruel irony at its finest. Of all the possible moments to regress, he had to land right back on the day of the tutorial summons. He recalls his previous life, where his lack of magical talent led to an embarrassing, instant death by an arrow. But that was then, and this is now. The fear that once paralyzed him has vanished. With the power of alchemy in his corner, he's ready to rewrite his destiny. A flood of missed calls from his brother, Kim Si-hyuk, stares back at him from the screen. Seeing his brother's messages makes him wince. He's supposed to be the older, more reliable one, not the one ignoring calls. Si-hyuk is bragging about getting into the Awakener Academy, typical younger brother energy. He's reached diamond rank and gained a third trait, yet he's completely clueless about how to use it. Must be nice to be that gifted and that oblivious. Si-hyuk's messages continue, filled with innocent questions about the sunrise and his final year of studies. Looking back, he realizes how bright and hopeful his little brother truly was. Only now, with the perspective of a regressor, does he see the hidden suffering his brother was masking all along. He realizes with grim clarity that his brother was the ultimate goal and victim of the Galaxy Arena. Everything changes from this moment forward. Before he can save the world, he has a much more personal mission: fixing his relationship with his brother. He freezes, thumb hovering over the screen, having absolutely no idea how to start the conversation. He groans in frustration. Why is talking to his own brother harder than fighting a boss monster? He continues to stare at the phone, caught in a loop of hesitation. A sinister crimson aura flares to life as the ancient seal activates. The stage is set for a cataclysmic confrontation. A sudden chill hits as he freezes in his tracks. Total shock takes over his expression. He sees the name Lee Yu-young on his screen, a reminder that in this timeline, she is still alive. The weight of the moment hangs heavy in the air. He forces himself to take a breath. The tragedy hasn't occurred yet, which means there is still time. A blood-red aura tears through the night sky, signaling an unstoppable disaster. The city trembles as a terrifying power awakens. The air hangs heavy with impending slaughter as the lone warrior steps into the heart of the chaos. Blood-red malice surges, signaling that no one is walking out of this room alive. He clenches his fist, hardening his resolve. He will change the outcome this time. Failure is not an option. He must rewrite this history. The notification blares. He has been officially selected for the arena tutorial. Time is running out as the system warns him to prepare for immediate summoning. With less than 10 minutes on the clock, he scrambles to equip his gear, determined to survive. The final countdown begins, and the pressure is palpable. He reflects on his miserable past as a magic-inept user and vows to bury those misfortunes for good. He's going to tear his past life apart and rebuild it into something stronger. The system welcomes him to the tutorial with a cold, mechanical cheer. The event is revealed to be Territory Conquest, featuring 100 participants fighting for survival. The jungle map loads, and the eerie sense of déjà vu confirms that he has truly regressed. The rules are simple: capture territory or eliminate players to climb the ranks. If you're enjoying this recap, smash that like button and subscribe for more. The tutorial officially begins, and the hunt is on. It's been ages since he stepped into the arena, so he decides to play it smart and aim for a high ranking. The gaze of the constellation Zeus fixes upon him, growing more intense by the second. He feels the eyes of a god watching his every move. Zeus has issued a mission, and the stakes just went through the roof. The mission window pops up, glowing with divine energy. He's shocked. Missions and sponsorships usually don't unlock until after the tutorial, but he's already getting special treatment. The mission is clear. Capture first place in the territory conquest to earn a massive reward of 1,000 achievement points. Leave it to the ruler of Olympus to demand nothing less than absolute perfection. 1,000 achievement points for a mere tutorial? That's an offer he can't afford to refuse. He commits fully. First place is the only option, no matter what it takes. He decides to test the waters with the almighty Zeus. He laughs it off, playing the part of the cheeky contestant. For the king of the gods, Zeus is acting a bit stingy with his rewards. Isn't he? The legend awakens. A returned genius player rises to forge weapons of mythic power. He lets out a sharp grunt of exertion as he pushes his limits. A lethal arrow pierces his neck, silencing him in an instant. The ambush is sudden, brutal, and fatal. A rival player smirks, gloating over the easy loot. The big corporations really do provide the best gear for their pawns. Even these expendable consumables are top-tier equipment. The guild gave him simple orders to survive, but he has much bigger ambitions than just staying alive. Being expelled from that academy was the best thing that ever happened to him. He refuses to be just another nameless guild member in the crowd. He's going to make everyone who abandoned him pay dearly for their mistake. The battlefield is vast, and the players are moving into position. Every step echoes with anticipation as they venture deeper into the unknown. The journey toward destiny begins right here. He scans the area, certain he's in the right spot. He stalks through the underbrush, eyes sharp and focused. He spots his target. The hunt is officially on. It's been a while, but the thrill of the arena is coming back to him. A rival notices him and sneers, mocking his lack of equipment. What a lucky, easy kill. The rival assumes that without gear, he's nothing more than a sitting duck. He thanks his lucky stars for the free kill, completely unaware of who he's actually targeting. A lethal arrow tears through the air with explosive speed. The target has nowhere left to hide from this devastating strike. With a cold, shadowed gaze, he snaps his fingers to seal his enemy's fate. The silence before the storm is over. The rival looks on, confused by the sudden change in atmosphere. A sudden, torrential downpour crashes down, obscuring the world in a blur of water and greenery. Nature's fury is unleashed in this breathless, rain-soaked moment. He knew he was being watched, and he's ready to strike back. The rival hesitates, finally realizing something is wrong. With a flick of the finger, the target is locked in his sights. Nowhere left to run now. The rival shrieks as his confidence evaporates instantly. He curses his luck as the tables turn with terrifying speed. A magic user? The rival's eyes widen in disbelief. Even without gear, he's dismantling the competition like it's nothing. A lethal blade flashes inches from his face. Pure terror shatters his composure as death comes knocking. The rival falls, his defense shattered by a single, calculated move. He taunts the fallen player, unimpressed by the supposed skill on display. It's almost satisfying to watch such an arrogant player get dismantled so quickly. The rival screams in a final, desperate burst of fury. He asks the rival what he's blathering about. Talk is cheap when you're about to be deleted. He mocks the rival's B-grade swift movement trait as if it were a child's toy. The rival is stunned. How could he possibly know about his secret trait? Information is the deadliest weapon in the arena, and he's got plenty. The rival collapses, his health bar draining to zero. He stares down at his opponent with chilling indifference. He wonders if the guy thinks he's some academy prodigy. Hardly. The rival tries to speak, but the end is already here. He laughs. An elite institution would never even look his way, let alone accept him. A sudden, explosive force shatters the silence. The birds scatter in terror as the atmosphere erupts with raw power. He exhales, wiping the rain from his eyes. He analyzes the rival's high-quality gear. confirming his suspicion that this was a spoiled rookie from a big guild. If this were a real arena, the guy wouldn't have even had a chance to scream. He pauses to remember that he actually entered without a proper connection device. In a regular arena, losing means game over permanently. It's not just a digital logout. It's death in the real world. The stakes are astronomical, and most people don't even realize it until it's too late. If the arena isn't cleared, the consequences spill over into the real world, causing catastrophic outbreaks. A chaotic swarm of nightmarish beasts descends upon the battlefield in a deafening roar. The gates of hell have burst open, unleashing total carnage. Unfinished dungeons mean monsters roaming the streets of reality, a nightmare scenario for any nation. A country's power is measured by its top rankers. South Korea, unfortunately, was left vulnerable after the last incident. He remembers how many nations simply vanished, wiped off the map by the encroaching chaos. He shakes off the dark memories. He has to focus on the present if he wants to prevent that future. He checks the leaderboard. Hang Hoyoung is currently in the lead, but the game has only just begun. He notes the gaps in points and kills. Everyone is playing too conservatively. The leaderboard scrolls by, showing the names of those trying to survive the early stages. Everyone is too afraid of losing their precious stats to make a real move. With a gold-tier event like this, the participants are definitely high-level, but they lack the killer instinct. Fear of loss is holding them back, making them easy targets for someone who's already died once. Players are starting to hoard territory points, but he knows that kills are the fastest way to surge ahead. He needs to get more comfortable with his synthesis method while he has the chance. He decides to hunt down more players to refine his craft. He catches a glimpse of a hidden player, gasping in sudden exertion. The air is thick with the sound of desperate breathing. The rival screams, finally realizing who he's dealing with. He moves with a predatory focus that terrifies those around him. The rival is panicking, struggling to keep pace with his relentless speed. Even in heavy armor, he's moving like a blur. He must have a hidden speed trait. The rival realizes too late that he should have struck first. The hunt is becoming a one-sided slaughter. A sharp glint of determination flashes in his eyes as he locks onto his target. The intensity is rising, and he's not holding back. Raw, crackling energy surges from his fingertips as he prepares to unleash a devastating power. The atmosphere shatters with anticipation. The target falls, unable to withstand the sheer force of his assault. He grumbles about the pathetic hyenas trying to scavenge scraps in his territory. A mysterious blue notification shatters the silence. Everything is about to change as a new quest emerges. The synthesis process kicks into high gear, boosting his synthesis power with every cycle. The philosopher's stone levels up. Talk about a massive power spike. Normally, stats barely budge at low levels, but watching this item level up is a total shocker. The protagonist moves forward, focused on the path ahead. With 11 kills under his belt, he feels confident. No one is catching him off guard now. He stands at the edge of the territory, debating whether it's time to head inside. The lone wanderer steps into the unknown, his path shrouded in mystery and silence. Every heavy footfall echoes through the ancient, sun-drenched woods. A sudden jolt of shock freezes his expression. Something unexpected has just caught his eye. The forest path looms ahead, dark and foreboding. His eyes widen in disbelief. What in the world is he looking at? Why are there so many corpses scattered outside the territory lines? This shouldn't be happening. He surveys the carnage, trying to piece together the mystery. The leaderboard updates, revealing a tight race for territory points among the top players. Look at those scores. The top 4 are practically neck and neck. It's not just the points. These 4 have dominated the rankings since the tutorial began. Is it possible they're working together? That would be a massive breach of protocol. Teaming up in a tutorial is a blatant violation of the rules. Desperation to rank up is one thing, but cheating? That's a new low. He scans the area, wondering where these players are hiding. Are they bunkered down inside the territory, just waiting for the clock to run out? With a tank, an archer, and dual swordsmen, Their formation is absolute perfection. It's like a fortress. He wanted to pinch pennies since the rewards were halved. But this changes everything. With the situation escalating, he realizes he has no choice but to intervene. If they want to play dirty, he's going to show them how it's really done. He prepares himself for the inevitable confrontation. A surge of raw power ignites within their eyes. The awakening has begun. The tension in the air becomes suffocating as the groups prepare to clash. Lee Seyoon scouts the horizon, but there isn't a soul in sight. Seyoon snaps back. His clairvoyance uses magic, not aura, and he's tired of being questioned. Someone's getting salty. Using leftover aura to snipe kills is definitely a flex. The bickering reaches a fever pitch. Everyone is outperforming the tank, and it's getting personal. He didn't ask for a tank trait, but that doesn't stop the others from roasting his pathetic kill count. He's had enough of the complaints. The frustration is boiling over. Kang Hoyoung offers to help Kim Jae-won secure more kills, sealing their alliance. The team solidifies their plan, unaware of the danger lurking nearby. Jae-won puts his trust in his leader, hoping for a ticket to the top. They discuss moving outside the territory to hunt. The participants are dwindling fast, after all. Being trapped in the territory is starting to feel like a cage. The name Kim Shermoon hangs in the air like a bad omen. Kang Hoyoung is confident. He knows the big names, and Shermoon isn't one of them. But how can a total unknown rack up 11 kills? It's suspicious, to say the least. They dismiss the competition as complete idiots, letting their guard down. They're convinced Shermoon is just a scavenger. If he were truly elite, he'd be here by now. They decide to patrol in formation. Boredom is the real enemy today, apparently. The group continues their patrol, feeling invincible. They recall the hard training they endured after failing the last tutorial. They aren't going to lose again. The Scorpion Guild has backed them with top-tier gear, and they intend to make it count. A lethal aura erupts as he draws his blade, ready to carve a path of destruction. The Predator has finally revealed his fangs. The leaderboard shows the team's dominance, but they aren't safe yet. Confidence is key, even when you're bending the rules to win. They still can't shake the feeling that something is wrong. A sudden gust of wind tears through the tranquil forest, signaling an unexpected shift. Something powerful is about to unfold. Her eyes widen in shock as a mysterious, glowing power surges to life. The impossible has just happened. The forest shatters into digital static as a mysterious force tears through reality. Our hooded protagonist stands frozen in the wake of a reality-warping glitch. The silence is broken by a single, terrifying declaration. He's here. The group spins around, confusion masking their faces. He calls them out. There's no point in hiding anymore. A blinding flash of pure energy tears through the forest. The air itself shatters under the weight of this unstoppable strike. A surge of raw, explosive power erupts as he unleashes his hidden potential. Everything is about to change in a flash of intense energy. The world freezes as realization strikes with lethal intensity. A single, piercing gaze captures the moment everything changes. Steel meets steel in a lethal clash. A single, precise strike deflects the incoming arrow with explosive force. The ground shatters under raw, overwhelming power. A single step changes everything. The dust begins to settle on the battlefield. Is that magic? The team is reeling from the sudden display of power. He's genuinely surprised they managed to find his hiding spot, a B-grade trait like clairvoyance. He's impressed, but not for long. How could he possibly know about his hidden trait? He spent plenty of time studying traits. It pays to do your homework. Oh, you studied? Let's see if that knowledge helps you when your head is rolling on the ground. The confrontation hits a boiling point. The ground trembles as a heavy, ominous presence marches toward the battlefield. Every deliberate step signals that a true monster has arrived. The standoff begins. The leader finally faces his rival. Kang Hoyoung stands tall, ready to assert his dominance. The rank 1 status confirms who holds the reins here. Hoyoung keeps it short. He has no time for pleasantries. The atmosphere is heavy with impending violence. The team is panicking. Teaming with a magic user is a recipe for betrayal. Being number one doesn't make you invincible, kid. They're begging their leader to rethink this insane alliance. A magic type is a wild card they can't afford to play with. Hoyoung argues that the benefits outweigh the risks, but the team isn't buying it. Magic users are rare assets, and the guild needs to snatch one up. 11 kills? That's not just luck. That's raw talent they can't ignore. He's playing the long game, looking for a promotion within the guild. Shermoon laughs. What makes them think he'd ever join their pathetic little club? The sheer audacity of these guys is honestly hilarious. Apologies don't fix the fact that they're being incredibly annoying. He's not one of those arrogant magic users they're used to dealing with. The question remains, why are they so obsessed with his cooperation? The word, teaming, is about to become a very dirty word. He reminds them that if this were a broadcast, they'd be public enemies number one. Who cares about public opinion when there are no penalties for winning? Kang Hoyoung is starting to lose his cool. He calls out their guild equipment. Are they prepared for the fallout of their little stunt? A little success has clearly gone to their heads. The tension is thicker than a brick wall. The Scorpion Guild doesn't care about rules. They only care about the scoreboard. They look down on everyone else as mere fodder for their rise to power. He gives Shermoon an ultimatum. Join or be discarded. A lethal blow strikes home as blood sprays into the air. The hooded fighter crumples in agony, his guard shattered. That's the Scorpion Guild for you, always playing dirty. The conversation is officially over. Kang Hoyoung better watch his back. He's got bigger problems than a bunch of guild puppets. With a flick of his finger, he commands the very heavens. Raw, crackling lightning surges at his beck and call. A devastating bolt of golden lightning tears through the battlefield with earth-shattering force. Absolute destruction descends in a blinding flash of pure power. The dust kicks up, obscuring the aftermath. A cold, piercing gaze locks onto the target. Total shock ripples through the air as the tension reaches a breaking point. What kind of monster did they just provoke? First place was never up for debate. It's his. He's too good for dirty team tactics. He prefers raw power. Negotiations have officially failed. Hoyoung screams orders as the situation spirals out of control. They know what they have to do. Attack. The warrior erupts with explosive speed, tearing through the air in a blinding display of power. With a single, devastating movement, they shatter the silence of the battlefield. A muffled cry of pain echoes through the forest. A cataclysmic surge of golden lightning erupts, shattering the very ground beneath the impact. Total devastation unfolds as raw power tears through the battlefield. The chaos continues to unfold. How did he manage to pull that off? A blinding explosion of raw power tears through the battlefield. Absolute chaos erupts as the target is consumed by the devastating strike. A chilling, calculated smirk spreads across his face as his master plan finally falls into place. Danger lurks behind that smile. The battle reaches its peak intensity. He barely tapped into the power. This is only 10% of what he can do. Something feels off, though. A nagging suspicion lingers. With eyes glowing with lethal intent, he lunges forward to deliver a crushing, bone-shattering strike. The battlefield trembles as his blade cuts through the air with unstoppable force. He's actually alive? Talk about a cockroach. Hard to kill. The warrior unleashes a blinding surge of raw energy. With a single strike, the battlefield erupts in pure, unstoppable power. With a flash of lethal speed, the warrior descends to deliver a crushing, blood-stained blow. No one can escape the edge of this terrifying strike. An overwhelming surge of power ignites within his eyes, signaling the awakening of a terrifying new force. He's locked onto his target, and there's nowhere left to hide. The end of the road is fast approaching for the Scorpion Guild. A cataclysmic surge of dark energy ruptures the fabric of reality. The world trembles as this devastating vortex unleashes pure, unbridled destruction. A rank shadow movement? How did he dodge that lightning strike so easily? With a crackle of lethal lightning, he commands his terrifying shadow to strike. The battlefield trembles as the darkness unleashes its full power. A lethal blade descends with bone-chilling intent. There is no escape from this overwhelming strike. With one final word, he seals their fate. Die! The damage numbers pop up, signaling the end. A pained grunt marks the end of his resistance. This can't be happening. He's losing to a solo player. How is his mana pool still full after that massive lightning discharge? He's got a few tricks up his sleeve that they couldn't possibly understand. A soft pop rings out as the reality of the situation settles in.
100% occupation.archived.
The territory is his. The tutorial system announces the conclusion. It's finally over. Kim Shermoon takes the top spot with 15 kills. Absolute domination. The tutorial rewards are being calculated. He earns the title Ruler of the Tutorial. Pretty fancy, right? Achievement points are rolling in, and the constellation Zeus is feeling generous. TSK, he could have had more points if he hadn't used that lightning ability. Zeus is clearly a fan. He's extremely pleased with the performance. He's walking away with a mountain of rewards for his return to the real world. He's leveled up, geared up, and ready to take on whatever comes next. If you're enjoying this recap, smash that like button and subscribe for more. The command echoes through the air. The return to the origin point is officially underway. We cut to the Scorpion Guild headquarters, deep in the neon-lit heart of Seoul. The deputy guild master looms over his subordinate, demanding answers that are clearly being held back. The deputy's face contorts in pure, unadulterated frustration. This mission was a total disaster. This wasn't just a bit of bad luck. It was a catastrophic failure of basic tactical common sense. With a cold, calculated flick, he crushes his cigarette into oblivion. The calm before the storm has officially ended. Folks, the subordinate hangs his head, offering no excuses for his absolutely pathetic performance. The deputy sighs, noting that while he can forgive a lack of skill, he has zero tolerance for straight-up stupidity. He leans in, his voice dropping to a dangerous, icy whisper that could freeze a drink. Losing a match is one thing, but losing even after teaming up? That's a whole new level of embarrassing. The deputy's patience officially snaps. This kind of incompetence is just too much to overlook. He rages about how teaming is a stain on their reputation, demanding to know if the subordinate understands the gravity of his shame. The subordinate offers a trembling apology, looking like he's trying to phase through the floor. A document is slammed onto the desk with a deafening thud. It's time to pay the piper. The subordinate stares at the paper as if it were his own death warrant. His eyes widen in absolute horror as the crushing reality of his situation sets in. It's a bill, the special punishment tax for anyone who fails the tutorial despite having the guild's backing. The contract dictates that for the next 10 years, every single reward he earns goes straight into the Scorpion Guild's pocket. The subordinate whimpers, realizing this isn't a contract. It's a lifetime of indentured servitude. A clueless grin suddenly clashes with two faces frozen in pure dread. Someone is about to get a reality check. The deputy mocks the subordinate's stupidity, asking if he's actually trying to commit career suicide. The subordinate is sweating buckets, regretting every single life choice that led him to this miserable desk. The deputy doesn't care about the tears. He wants that signature on the dotted line. Right now, across town, the mood is much colder at the Songsam Guild headquarters. Manager Park Min-cheol is struggling to process the absolutely impossible report on his desk. He clarifies he isn't blaming his team, but the story he's hearing is just too absurd to be true. They discuss the anomaly. Someone unleashed high-level magic without a single cast, racking up 15 kills in the process. And they did it solo, wiping out 4 top-ranked teamers alone. That's not human, that's a glitch in the system. Park dismisses the team, deciding to keep the details of this report strictly under wraps. He offers a rare moment of kindness, reassuring them that the Songsam Guild doesn't punish people for failing the tutorial. The subordinate looks like they've just been granted a stay of execution from the Reaper himself. He bows his head in gratitude, promising to do better next time. The numbers on the screen tell the tale of a monster in the making. A chilling, unreadable smirk hides behind those glass frames. Behind that calm exterior, a master manipulator is already 10 steps ahead of everyone. The realization hits them all over again. 4 professional teamers wiped out by one single person. Park turns to Yeonhee, asking if she's dug up any more intel on their mystery player. Yeonhee snaps back, reminding him they're on the clock, though she's clearly just as curious as he is. Park teases her, joking that she'd probably get all sulky if he called her Deputy Woo. She denies it, but the look on her face says she's definitely going to remember that little jab. They confirm the Scorpion Guild was behind the teaming incident. No surprises there, they love being the villains. The data stream is a mess of scrambled code, but the implications are clear. Someone just broke the game. They wonder how the notoriously dirty Scorpion Guild managed to recruit someone with such terrifying potential. But the real mystery remains. How did one person destroy a squad of veterans without breaking a sweat? They theorize a high-tier magic class, but even then, the casting time should have been a massive disadvantage. Maybe it's an S-grade trait? That would explain the instant activation, but it's still a stretch for a level 1. They agree that no matter how good the trait is, there's a limit to what a level 1 can do. There's a missing piece to the puzzle. A sharp, piercing gaze locks onto the target. The trap is set and there's no turning back now. They toss around the idea of a constellation support. It's the only variable that actually makes sense. But a constellation helping a level 1? That's completely unheard of. History shows that constellations only ever grace diamond rank players or higher. That leaves only 2 options. He's a total irregular, or something even stranger is going on. Whatever the truth is, they reach a unanimous conclusion. This guy must be recruited at all costs. They know other guilds are already sniffing around, so Deputy Woo better start working double time. Park turns to the guild master, looking for confirmation that he's on the right track. Someone interrupts the meeting with a sudden, unexpected arrival. The room goes dead quiet as the newcomer makes her presence known. She invites them to drop the formalities, acting like she owns the place because, let's be real, she basically does. The tension in the room shifts instantly. The boss has arrived. She reveals she's been using an A-rank stealth artifact to watch them this whole time. She explains that the mention of Kim Shimon triggered her interest and she just had to investigate. She asks about the workload, trying to sound helpful while clearly just being nosy about the report. She claims the academy bores her, so she's looking for a bit of entertainment. They suggest she try an arena match if she's really that desperate for something to do. She asks if they've seen her stream, but they're too focused on the report to care about her social media game. She doesn't hold it against them. She's already got her eyes on the prize. She grabs the classified report, ignoring the panicked protests of the staff. She reminds them who actually runs the show here, a classic boss-level power move. The staff tries to wrestle it back, but she's already reading the juicy details. She laughs off their protest, completely unbothered by the breach of protocol. Her eyes narrow as she reads the name, Kim Shimon. Pure, crackling energy erupts as an unstoppable force collides with a shimmering barrier. The battlefield shatters under the weight of this raw power. The air crackles with unstable energy as a dimensional rift tears through reality. An otherworldly power is surging forth. He's finally back, and the aura around him feels different. He's fundamentally changed. Raw power surges as he takes a stand, crackling with an unstoppable energy. The ground trembles beneath his feet. He lets out a long, exhausted sigh. The nightmare of the tutorial is finally over. A notification pings. Bonus experience points granted for an overwhelming first-place finish. He checks his stats, realizing he could have hit level 3 even without the Philosopher's Stone. The status window confirms his new rank, level 3, with a massive alchemy power boost that dwarfs his physical stats. It's a lopsided build, but in his eyes, it's exactly the masterpiece he wanted. The lower his level, the more powerful the stone's effects seem to be in the arena. He's literally gaming the system. He crunches the numbers. Simulated levels are the secret shortcut to total dominance. It's not just about raw power, it's about the mathematical efficiency of his build. By layering the stone's level with his own, he's creating a character that simply shouldn't exist. This setup is vastly superior to any boring old innate stats everyone else is grinding for. A satisfied grin spreads across his face. His devious plan is working perfectly. He reviews his stats again, just to make sure he isn't dreaming this success. His Pioneer of Alchemy title is still there, providing a small but steady boost to his synthesis capabilities. He grumbles about how hard it is to level up a title, but realizes he's already lapping the pros. A new title appears, Ruler of the Tutorial, a flashy badge for being the best of the best. The system recognizes his dominance, and he's happy to take the clout. He muses that titles were always undervalued in his past life, but he's determined to prove everyone wrong. He's not losing anything. He's just starting to build his own empire. Every title he hoards brings him one step closer to upgrading the achievement shop. The shop is the real goal, and he needs those high-rank unlocks to really start spending. Now, the big question, where to dump those 2 remaining stat points? Transmutation power is tempting, but the law of equivalent exchange is a cruel mistress. He's already blown 1,000,000 points. What's a few more to make himself a god? He can't ignore his physical stats entirely. Even the best mage needs to be able to take a punch. He decides to aim for the awakening average of 5, a solid, safe baseline. Then a sudden, dangerous thought hits him. He turns to the Philosopher's Stone, asking the one question he's been dreading. Is human transmutation actually possible? A heavy, ominous silence hangs in the air as the tension reaches its breaking point. Something massive is about to unfold. The system hangs, hesitating to answer such a dangerous query. Still no answer. The silence is deafening. He figures that makes sense. After all, messing with human life is the ultimate taboo in the craft. He knows the history of chimeras, monsters born from the same hubris he's currently contemplating. Just like the reckless scientific advancements of the 21st century, some lines shouldn't be crossed. An ominous, pulsing artifact surges with chaotic energy. The air itself cracks under the weight of its forbidden power. He questions his own morality. Would he really only use this power for good? He admits he wants to be stronger, but he's not going to make any promises about his future choices. He has a goal, and he's willing to pay whatever price is required to reach it. He acknowledges the danger, treating the forbidden knowledge like a loaded weapon. He realizes the stone isn't even worried about the ethics. It's worried about something else entirely. The stone mentions an item that's the literal opposite of the Emerald Tablet, a source of dark, forbidden knowledge. So, there's an archive for the dark side of alchemy? That's a total game changer. A chilling, deathly stare locks onto his target. The battlefield turns silent as he prepares to unleash absolute carnage. It makes sense that the Emerald Tablet kept its hands clean of human transmutation. It was a test of qualification all along. He recalls the grueling qualification test he had to survive just to use the tablet. The system confirmed his ownership, but it could have just as easily ended his life. He was only level 1, but he survived the trial by fire. The tablet was a trap designed to incinerate anyone who dared to claim it without the right soul. The mysterious figure seizes the glowing artifact amidst the swirling chaos. Power surges as the relic falls into their grasp. Thinking back, it's terrifying. If he had failed, he'd be nothing but a pile of ash. The stone is worried he won't survive the next test for this new, darker item. He considers walking away, but his curiosity is just too strong to resist. Wait, the stone can actually dampen the penalty? That changes absolutely everything. He demands one clear answer. Will it at least keep him alive? He's a player now. As long as he's breathing, he can find a way to recover. He commits his points to alchemy power and asks the stone to visualize the target. It's a dark, corrupted twin to the Emerald Tablet, the very aesthetic of forbidden power. The cold, razor-sharp gaze locks onto the target. Absolute focus signals that a lethal strike is imminent. He's ready to make the trade no matter the cost. It looks like a modern smartphone screen, making it terrifyingly easy to navigate through cursed knowledge. The air crackles with lethal intent as he snaps his fingers, unleashing a cataclysmic surge of power. The battlefield trembles before his command. The system rejects him. His power isn't enough to force the transmutation. He expected as much. Nothing worth having comes easy in this world. The cost is steep. 10,000 achievement points to bridge the gap. He doesn't hesitate. He accepts the price instantly. He grumbles that it's still cheaper than other upgrades, but it still stings to lose that much progress. He reminds himself that common upgrades only cost a few hundred points. This is a massive investment. He's worked so hard to bank those 12,300 points, and now he's blowing almost all of it. No guts, no glory. He's going all in. The points vanish from his account in the blink of an eye. The transaction is complete, and the cost is paid. A familiar, humming energy begins to fill the room. The countdown to a new, dark discovery begins. With a sharp snap of his fingers, he unleashes a surge of raw, crackling energy. Everything is about to change in a heartbeat. If you're enjoying this recap, smash that like button and subscribe for more. The power finally manifests, and the true test begins. Sinister purple tendrils erupt with lethal force, constricting the target in a crushing grip. There is simply no escape from this suffocating nightmare. He stares in utter disbelief, gasping at the impossible sight, wondering if the artifact has somehow come to life. A cold realization hits him like a freight train. He has somehow crafted an unregistered, mythical-grade artifact. The system chimes with a glorious notification. The Pioneer of Alchemy title is evolving, unlocking brand new growth paths. The title now grants a sweet passive bonus, a 5% reduction in all synthesis energy consumption. He realizes the true potential here. As his level climbs, that efficiency bonus will eventually turn him into an unstoppable alchemy machine. It's official. The ability to slash energy costs is a total game changer. Now he finally understands why Malsuk was so obsessed with these growth-type titles. Even the mighty constellation Black Goat is wide-eyed, stunned by the mysterious trace left upon him. He has officially caught the eye of an unregistered constellation, and the entire galaxy is taking notice. His series of impossible feats has the galactic forums buzzing with non-stop debate about this mysterious player. He stares at the relic in his hands, wondering what on earth he has actually created. It's an obsidian tablet replica, a treasure trove of human synthesis knowledge, though its full power remains frustratingly locked away. He's genuinely annoyed that 10,000 achievement points only unlock 20% of the tablet's potential. Talk about a ripoff. The Philosopher's Stone is struggling to maintain the exchange. It's demanding more power, much like the 10% complete a strafe replica he once held. He pauses, his heart racing as a sudden, dangerous thought occurs to him. Could it be? He realizes with a shock that this synthesized item might actually have 0 rebound. He frantically checks the stats. Is it truly free of any backlash? If it's permanent, he's hit the jackpot. With a 20% boost per 10,000 points, the math is looking very promising. Just 4 more upgrades at 40,000 points and he'll be unstoppable. He realizes that soon, he will be the proud owner of a true mythical-grade item. A sinister grin spreads across his face as he unveils a pulsating relic. The hunt is on, and he's clearly up to no good. He can't help but shout that this is absolutely insane. The power he's tapping into is enough to make any player's head spin. The air crackles with lethal energy as he realizes he's in deep trouble. A sudden, terrifying surge of power catches him completely off guard. He steadies his nerves, muttering that he's already prepared for any penalties that might come his way. With just a single touch, he knows he can reach out to his sibling if things go south. He reminds himself that he's no stranger to agony, having lived with a chronic arena disease his entire life. Intense, unbearable pain has been his only constant companion since childhood. He breathes a sigh of relief, betting that his intuition is right and there won't be any penalties at all. The energy shifts violently around him, crackling with an otherworldly intensity. The pressure in the room is rising, and the system is struggling to process the sheer amount of data. As expected, he feels no pain. The black goat seems to have taken a personal interest in him, ensuring this relic does him no harm. The obsidian tablet is suddenly requesting a fusion with the philosopher's stone. Wait, what? A sharp, sudden jolt of pain forces a cry from his lips. The philosopher's stone accepts the connection, and the two items begin to meld into one. He stumbles back, eyes wide, wondering what nightmare he has just unleashed. A terrifying void of pure energy tears through reality, shattering the atmosphere with its raw, devastating power. He lets out a primal scream as the force of the fusion hits him. Dark, shadowy tendrils begin to spread across his body, consuming him from the inside out. He panics as the corruption spreads. At this rate, there won't be anything left of him. He screams for it to stop, but the power is far beyond his control. Success. The tablet fuses with the stone, and a subtle, yet massive change ripples through the artifact. A new option appears, and the rank of the Philosopher's Stone begins to climb rapidly. A booming announcement welcomes him to the Galaxy Arena's Offense event, where 50 participants are split into teams of 5. As the final participants are summoned, the arena begins to hum with deadly anticipation. He sighs. He just finished the tutorial and he's already forced into a high-stakes event? This is going to be a long day. The difficulty is insane for a silver rank event. He knows he's only here because of his high matchmaking rating. He realizes it must be because of that monster he eliminated back during his last match. Still, he thinks to himself, maybe this is actually a golden opportunity. He might just get another chance to snag that talented prospect he missed out on before. The arena floor begins to shift, preparing the combatants for the upcoming slaughter. He grumbles about his luck. Why did it have to be an offense event? He prefers to play it safe. It's definitely his high MMR causing this headache. He should have known being too good would backfire. He looks at his teammate, telling him not to worry. He'll carry the team just like last time. He suddenly freezes, eyes locking onto a familiar, hated emblem. It's those absolute trash players from the Scorpion Guild. Even in the high-stakes arena, you can't escape the bottom feeders and professional trolls. A cold-blooded army emerges from the shadows, led by a grinning warrior ready for a massacre. The hunt is on, and their victims don't stand a chance. They're famous for their terrible manners, which they conveniently hide behind some twisted, nonsensical philosophy. In reality, they're just low-life punks who love being nuisances. He sighs, realizing his dream of a smooth, professional match just went down the drain. The Scorpion members look around, confused. They were expecting a full team, but it's just this one guy? They start mocking him, wondering just how amazing their final teammate is going to be. One of them spots a mark and shouts, "Wait, is that the Sung Sam emblem? Are you with them?" The group bursts into laughter, mocking the very idea of a Sung Sam recruit. They demand his name, and he nervously replies, "Kim Min-young." They scoff, claiming they've never heard of him, which is probably for the best, given their reputation. They proceed to treat him like a fresh-faced rookie who barely scraped through the tutorial. They start speculating that Sung Sam must be broke if they're sending out guys with such pathetic gear. They brag about how big corporations usually spoil their top recruits. But clearly, Min-young is a total nobody. Min-young grits his teeth, forcing himself to stay calm. He needs to keep his cool. He wants nothing more than to wipe that smug look off their faces, but he holds back. One of the bullies senses the tension, whispering that Min-young looks like he's about to snap. Min-young knows that if he fights them now, he'll lose. He has to be smart about this. The tension reaches a breaking point as a white-knuckled grip tightens in silent, brewing fury. The bully smirks, telling Min-young to just do exactly as he's told if he wants to clear the event. It's obvious they plan to hog all the rewards for themselves. What a bunch of losers. The arena countdown begins, and the air grows heavy with the promise of violence. A cold, piercing gaze locks onto the target with lethal precision. The moment of truth has arrived. The mysterious figure dematerializes into glowing digital fragments. A glitch in reality marks their sudden, chilling exit. The Scorpion members stumble back, terrified, asking why that guy is even here. He looks around the mess of an arena, shaking his head at the ridiculous situation. The Scorpion members continue to whine, complaining about being paired with a leech who has no gear. Leech, Minyoung mutters, his patience wearing thin. He turns to them, his voice cold, asking if they are talking to him. A lethal, spiked projectile tears through the air with unstoppable force. Impact is imminent. The bully sneers, asking who else he would be talking to. The idiot. Minhyung's eyes flash with a dangerous light. The insults have gone too far. A mysterious, pulsing energy erupts directly from his chest. Something world-shattering is about to be unleashed. He snaps back, asking who that ugly guy is who looks like he got scraped on asphalt. He's feeling a strange, phantom sensation. A bizarre, magical echo from his recent fusion. He brushes his chest, confused by the sudden, inexplicable ache in his heart. A strange, seductive voice whispers in his head, begging for more contact. What is happening to him? He tries to shake off the weird, erotic feedback coming from his own equipment. He curses his luck. If he'd known the fusion would cause this, he never would have gone through with it. The Scorpion members stop laughing, suddenly unnerved by Minhyung's bizarre behavior. Hey, freeloader, they taunt. Are you scared? They mock his lack of guild gear, convinced he's just a bottom-tier loser. Choi Jae steps forward, puffing his chest out. He's clearly the alpha of this pathetic group. Minyoung realizes that these guys are truly as small-minded as they look. If you're worried about my equipment, Minyoung says calmly, you're just misunderstanding the situation. The bully stares at him like he's lost his mind. Misunderstanding? Who are you trying to fool? You piece of trash. Minyoung asks, did you say your name is Choi Jae? Interesting. Support classes often hide their power. The silence in the arena is deafening as the truth begins to sink in. And you're from the Scorpion Guild, aren't you? Jae is stunned that Minyoung stopped using formal speech. The human mask is finally dropping. The bully explodes in rage, unable to believe a freeloader dares to speak to him like that. They can't believe he has the audacity to look down on them. Minyoung looks at them with nothing but pure, cold indifference. I'll crush that arrogant look right off your face. The battle is about to start, and Minyoung is done playing games. With a blinding flash, a lethal strike tears through the air. There's no escaping this sudden, explosive assault. A massive, spiked mace tears through the air with lethal intent. Prepare for a devastating impact. Cold sweat drips as his eyes widen in pure, unadulterated terror. Something monstrous just shattered his reality. A lethal strike is caught dead in its tracks by a mysterious, glowing aura. The attacker's shock is palpable as his weapon is effortlessly intercepted. The bully gasps, this can't be, I'm being overpowered. He stares in horror by this pathetic-looking guy. A heavy blow lands, knocking the wind out of him. Minyoung notes that the guy's agility was just a front. He was focusing on raw strength all along. The bully realizes with dread that Minyoung hasn't even flinched. His team screams for him to hold his ground, but it's already too late. A devastating impact shatters the ground, sending debris flying into the air. The sheer force leaves nothing but destruction in its wake. Terror flashes across his face as he desperately swings his blade. The heat of battle is on, and he's fighting for his life. Blood splatters across a face frozen in absolute, hollow terror. The final realization of doom has arrived. A swift, lethal strike pierces the target before they even realize what's happening. The blade finds its mark in a brutal display of cold-blooded precision. Sang Bin! His teammate screams in horror. The bully roars, "You bastard!" A sudden noise snaps him to attention. His eyes widen in pure, unadulterated shock. He coughs up blood, his strength fading fast. "These bastards!" He wheezes, unable to comprehend his defeat. Minyoung analyzes his stats: A-rank strength, focus stat distribution, and top-tier gear. All of that, and he's still lost to someone using just one hand. "How the hell are you this strong?" the bully gasps. Min-young replies with a smirk. You still have the energy to shout, huh? Absolute shock grips him as his weapon shatters into pieces. The tide of battle has just taken a terrifying turn. Now that's a face I like, Min-young says. But don't be too resentful. He reminds them, you were the one who attacked first. Fresh blood stains the pristine sneaker as the tension hits a breaking point. The hunter has arrived, and the carnage is just beginning. This arena is brutal. The high MMR means the difficulty is through the roof, but the rewards are going to be legendary. He realizes that the fewer people in the party, the bigger the payout. No wonder those idiots were so obsessed with his gear. The system updates. Ogre's body tissue at 15% completion. He can now replicate an ogre's raw physical might. Only 15%? He sighs, the risk of using this power is massive, but the obsidian tablet's appearance preservation feature makes it worth the gamble. He smirks to himself, thinking, actually, I think I'm starting to like this. The system confirms the upgrade is holding steady. The final teammate approaches, trembling and stammering in agreement. Min-young looks at him, scratching his head, wondering where he has seen that face before. The guy stammers that they met back in the tutorial.
Min-young log. Ah.
You're the one I fought by the river, right? Looking forward to working with you. The name Sung Sam Guild rings out, sending a massive shockwave of disbelief through the entire room. Every face turns pale as they realize they've stumbled right into Yuzhong's lethal territory. A brief, awkward silence hangs in the air, followed by a quick, nervous attempt to play it cool. Nice save, buddy. Nobody noticed that stutter at all. Masking their fear with a forced grin, they propose tackling the mission as a duo, hoping to bluff their way through. The system delivers a brutal reality check. A 5-man squad is mandatory, and with their original teammates dead, they are severely outgunned. Total panic ensues. They've walked blindly into a death trap with less than half the required manpower. A final, ominous chime echoes through the chamber as the system locks their fate in place. The heavy arena gates groan open, signaling that the massacre is officially underway. The countdown begins. They have exactly 30 minutes to survive this absolute nightmare. The situation is pure insanity. Talk about a rough start to the day. Reality itself begins to fracture. A blinding surge of energy pinning them in place as the world tears apart. With no time for hesitation, they steel their nerves, knowing they must fight twice as hard to compensate for their missing allies. A divine pressure descends upon the arena. Constellation Zeus has turned his golden gaze toward them. Even the sinister black goat arrives, watching the unfolding chaos with a twisted sense of intrigue. Our protagonist is spiraling. Why are these legendary cosmic entities suddenly obsessed with a low-rank nobody like him? He questions his own sanity, wondering how a simple rookie placement test turned into a divine spectacle. This is unheard of. Even the most elite warriors never receive this much attention from the heavens. A holographic display flashes the mission parameters. Their destination is the heart of a swarming goblin stronghold. The objective is simple, brutal, and unforgiving. Wipe out every single monster before the clock hits 0. The timer is relentless, ticking down toward their inevitable doom. A full-blown stronghold? They are barely holding it together as a duo, and now they are being tossed into a fortress of bloodthirsty monsters.